Yo, call me the 90s the way I get back shots. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Skits. Today and only today, we are here to talk about how the 90s are back. All right, that's what I'm talking about, right? The past is the present, and that is because, yes, in the same year, we are getting a new 2D Mario and a new 2D Sonic, which are both set to sort of be like a new era for both of these. So I figured I would sit down today, sort of talk about both of them, what I feel like they're doing different, what's going to be the challenges between both of them in the market, and what just gotta like get into sort of that like sort of fun rivalry, because I feel like this is the first time we've really had these two compete in the 2D space in a modern era in a long time. The reason this comes up especially is because it leaked on a retailer recently, and a bunch of retailers recently, that Sonic Superstars is actually set to be released on October 17th, which is, yes, 3 days before the release date that is official of Mario Wonder. Now, granted, Mario Wonder obviously is a set release day, whereas Sonic's is a retail leak, but that is basically the same week. They are directly competing. Whether you think they are or not, they are. All right, they are both platformers that have 4-player co-op that a lot of families are going to decide on which to pick up. So whether, again, obviously, if you're a smart, grown individual, you can make your own decisions. You know that they're both very different, but a lot of people are going to pick. And I do wonder if Sega is going to be a little afraid of that Mario date and move the game. I feel like they might keep it just because it feels like that's what they've said retailers to. Maybe they might set it a little earlier, maybe they might set it a little later, but there's definitely, like, listen, even as someone who loves Sonic, and I'm confident in Sonic, but I as someone who adores Mario, I definitely think having them in the both week is gonna lead people to make a choice. Now, granted, regardless, holiday season is coming up very soon. Families are going to be picking up these games no matter what, and I feel like when it comes to Sonic, people buy Sonic games that they're gonna buy anyways. But you guys have to remember, though, 2D Mario is kind of on its own plane of existence when it comes to sales, right? Like, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, the port, the Wii U port on Switch, sold 15 million copies, bro, and that shit is a port, right? We also had, obviously, Mario movie recently, $1 billion at the box office, so mind share for that movie, much bigger right now. You know, Sonic movie, as much as I love it, is a 400 million sort of box office type beat, and of course, back in the Wii era with New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that game sold 32 million copies alone on the Wii. So there is definitely some fear to be had in a sense of sale figures for the games, which is why I think, yeah, it's good. Thank God, honestly, Sonic, for now, as far as we know, is going to be coming out 3 days before Mario. But I would listen. If I was Sega, I'd be like, hey man, maybe we shift this like a week or two before, or maybe a week or two after. Give that space to move away from us while we have our own week, because I just know this is going to, for better or worse, lead a lot of websites and companies and content creators to be like, this game versus this game, this versus the game versus this game. Now, listen, I'm chilling, I'm sad, I'm eating. I love both of these franchises. So for me, I win that week. That's going to be one of the best weeks of my life. But I do know in terms of, content and videos and mindshare and stuff, it's definitely going to cause a debate. Now let's talk about these two games in general, right? Obviously, these are two platformers that are sort of going with the same idea, which is, hey, let's modernize, a lot of what we love about these series. Because in a lot of ways, right, this is going to sound weird, but bear with me, right? Mario Maker and Sonic Mania were sort of the last two 2D games in this franchise, and they both kind of represent the same idea. They are both a love letter to their past lineage. Obviously with Mario Maker, yes, it's build your own levels, but you're using the styles of older levels, right? And people are making their own creations, but it is a celebration of the past mixed with people's creations in the present, right? Whereas with Sonic Mania, right, you got a game that was just a love letter to the 2D series in general. You were getting, levels that were from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 in there, and it was and new levels too, so it's sort of setting the future precedent as well as the past. So it's kind of funny to see where these two branched off, the last years to now, where they're like, hey, we need to be different. Now, obviously, when it comes to art style comparing to these two, I really love both of them. When it comes to Sonic Superstars, we're seeing this sort of look that, yes, it's 3D models, but the 3D models look so expressive. I mean, it's even just the colorful vibe the game has, just even when you use that power where you turn to like the water Sonic and he climbs up the waterfall and you're getting a tropical island type beat, even the jungle looks good. You have just a vibrant, nice art style, right? But with Mario, it does something kind of cool where it almost feels like a water paint mixed with 3D models. You know, when you see Mario running in the Mario Wonder trailer, he does look like almost a 2D art piece running in 3D. And I think that's what makes the Mario Wonder art style pop out a lot more, is it's going for that very visually like enhanced experience, you know, where like you're seeing backgrounds jumping, you know, you're seeing obviously levels that are so vastly different in color. Whereas with Sonic, we all know it's sort of going to be, you know, like that is going to be the zone, and it's not really going to be the backgrounds that are dynamic. It's about, you know, how intricate the level design is, you know, the different paths you take, how fast you're going to go through them. Obviously, I don't need to get into the semantics of how a Mario plays versus a Sonic game plays, but you get what I mean. Just artistically, I do feel like Mario Wonder definitely has the edge, but Sonic, again, Sonic Superstars just like looks so appealing. You know, I just think they nailed that sort of old school look. Like if you look at Mania, how it looks in sprite form, Sonic Superstars really translated how that game looks super well to Superstars. And even both games, as a character expression wise, the characters feel like they have a lot of life to them. Now, gameplay wise, right, what are these games offering that is very different, right? In terms of Mario, I feel like it's going to be a lot about the gimmicks, right? What the Wonder Seed is doing to make, you know, elephants pop out of nowhere, to make, you know, you falling from the sky. Whereas Sonic, I feel like there's a lot of cool things with obviously that new Chaos Emerald ability. There's the Chaos Emerald abilities you get that are going to allow dynamically going through levels. And I feel like a big difference between Mario and Sonic, I've always felt throughout the years, is relearning and going back to Sonic levels is definitely more fun, right? I feel like with Mario levels, it's so rare you go back to a Mario level in a 2D game. Whereas with Sonic, it always feels like, you know, with Sonic games, you always remember the zone. You know, people will be, well, like the difference with Sonic is people will compare the zones, right? And how its zone stood out more than that. Whereas with Mario, you don't really do that. You know, you really enjoy the level for what it is, but you don't go and be like, oh man, like, I love Donut Plains too. Oh man, I love the grass world from Mario, you know, New Super Mario Bros. You sort of just enjoy the obstacle course for what it is. Whereas with Sonic, it has an identity with those zones, and they become part of the culture for the franchise. So far, even when I think of just gameplay wise, I feel like they're both doing similar things, right? Mario's going for the more crazy over the top level gimmick style, whereas Sonic is going for, hey, let's have a classic feel in here, right? But obviously, you now have the different characters with different moves. Whereas also in Mario, from what we see in Mario even so far for the different characters, obviously we have the different characters in each game. They both have 4-player co-op this time around, which is a big deal. I think Sonic stands out more. I mean, with Mario, it's cool you get to play as the other characters, but it doesn't seem like they have character unique abilities. I feel like they're all gonna, you know, sort of play like Mario does. I don't think there's anything in the trailer that indicated that, you know, Peach could do a float or that Toad's a little faster, which I don't think makes sense in a 2D game. But whereas with Sonic, obviously a big part of those levels is going to be like, hey, what can I go explore with Knuckles? You know, how can I do this with Amy? How can I have fun with my double jump? How can I go fly around there with Tails? And that's always been Sonic's advantage, but I feel like it's going to stand out even more in Sonic Superstars just because these levels are going to be so fresh and new to explore. But I do like that obviously with Mario, you have a lot more characters this time around. You know, you have Mario, you got Peach, you got Luigi, you got Daisy, you got Yoshi's, you got Toad, you got a lot more characters this time around. Now, obviously with Sonic, we're getting teased with a potential 5th character because it's very clear there's one more character playable, whether it's going to be Trip or whether it's going to be Fang or whether it's going to be someone else we don't know. It's very clear there's someone hidden, but I feel like with Sonic, a different character is more special just because you have that sort of idea that the character plays differently, which is going to change how you play through the level. Obviously, when it comes to music, I mean, I feel like we're both very early on in knowing their sounds, but obviously with Sai, you're going to get T-Lopes, which is going to be a banger OST, but I wouldn't count out this time Mario Wonder soundtrack. It looks like, you know, it's very stylized instead of the bars that got the doo-dee-dee-doos, and it's very stylized, very nice, very, you know, Mario, like I feel like Koji Kondo's going to cook, T-Lopes is going to cook, and they're both going to be banger soundtracks out there. But yeah, just so exciting to me. Honestly, I'm not like even mad or even worried about like what's gonna happen. I feel like they're both standing out in very different ways, and they're gonna appeal, I think, to both fans differently because again, I've wanted something fresh from both of these games in a long time. You know, Sonic Mania gave me so much hope for the future of 2D Sonic, and I feel like almost Sonic Origins sullied people's you know, thoughts of 2D Sonic just because of how that collection, you know, was weirdly, you know, some people love it, some people don't like it, but you know, we all know know that 2D Sonic at its core is fantastic and one of the favorite genre styles of it. And I feel like it's definitely been more consistent. Like I said, Mania was a breath of fresh air, and obviously we know with Superstars, the physics are going to feel exactly like Mania. In fact, that's the first thing they worked on. And I can't wait. Obviously, Superstars has a mega advantage, which is modding, right? People are going to go crazy with mods, which is going to keep the game alive for years to come. And obviously with Mario, yeah, there's going to be some mods, but it's not going to be the same. We all know it. You know, Switch is harder to mod. It's not as accessible and easy because it's not on PC. Whereas, you know, with Superstars, we're going to get a lot in that sense. It's just so cool to be in a timeline where both of these can also coexist. I mean, I want to talk about a bit of like the nice competition. Is that this is a different era. I mean, we're talking about a Nintendo that headlined their latest Nintendo Direct basically with a 2D Sonic game and then ended it with a Mario game. You know, these two franchises are really interconnected in a lot of ways. I feel like everybody's going to enjoy them for different reasons, right? I feel like there's a big reason to play Sonic now. There's a big reason to play Mario now. There is no war like it used to be. Like I said, they are inherently competing because, you know, they're on the same market share, you know, and they're both platformers and they're both 4-player co-op. They aim to appeal to kids and adults and everything, right? But there's definitely I feel like people are easily more prone to buying both. And I really do hope Superstars does well. They are selling it at full price, which tells you they're very confident in it. In fact, in the latest Nintendo Direct, we found out that the game is going to be 12 zones. I'm sure there's going to be a hidden zone or two, and we know characters have specific acts of their own in there, and they all just look like they're both doing unique ideas. I mean, there's even that voxel sort of level from Sonic Superstars that we didn't even talk about much, or they've shown too much. It was in the reveal trailer. We get a little of that voxel zone where they turn to squids, and I wonder how many more ideas like that are going to be in the game. I can't wait to see all the Chaos Emerald powers, just like I can't wait to see what crazy gimmicks Mario Wonder is hiding. I feel like these two games have still so much potential and so much hype behind them, and we're gonna see so much more from them. So guys, let me know which one of these two you are most excited for. What are you like, you know, what are the differences you're excited for? What are the things you like from the other that you'd like to see the other embrace more, and all that stuff. So thank you all for watching. Subscribe for more, and peace out.